Hello and welcome back to Oak City. This is our Plains and Prairies playthrough on Farming Simulator 25. We are here today, so going to be in the month of June. Summer months are here, first year summer. So we will be basically looking at fertilization. We got to turn around and fertilize a few fields. We have 3 fields up to fertilize. We're going to turn around and try to work on some monthly income because right now we don't really have a lot coming in. I mean, this month we pretty much have a few sales and then that's about it. So we are going to turn around and try to set up some monthly incomes. Maybe multiple monthly incomes, maybe one, not totally sure there. And then we may get out to flipping a field as well if we get the time. So going to try to stick in about as much as we can. Going to jump in the big sprayer here and head on down the road. Alright, actually easier just to get out of here. Whoa. Nope. Didn't make it. That pole. Clip that pole more often than anything on the map. That is for sure. Suppose could have done the grass field right there by the farm first, but we'll turn around and head out while the tank is full and go get the big field. I'm sure this thing is going to cover all of these fields. This thing's super economical when it comes to the use of the fertilizer, that's for sure. Just super efficient. Then we're going to try to put to use some of the ground here in our purchase field that we kind of have turned around. I mean, right now we only have one production in there. Our plan is obviously to utilize a lot more of that ground. So we're going to try to look, I think, got a little project in mind going for a corner of that. So just kind of working it out yet. Nice size boom on this one. What are you doing? Yeah, that's perfectly fine. We don't need to do much here. Just hit it. Oh, it's spraying right over the fence. Check that out. Wait a minute. We're not on the line. That's why. Not that I guess we gotta worry about it too much here. Driving off course is the problem. And of course we're in a part of the field we don't need to fertilize anyway. So not really a big deal what we do with it. In fact, with this, we could probably save even more. We just turn around. Let's see. They're gonna grab it. And then we'll go that way. Yeah, it's gonna get most of it anyway. We'll grab that little bit of edge and then we just have down on the end, I guess. No point in wasting. We do not have to do the whole field. I just had it in my head to come fertilize the whole field, but we really do not need to do that. Even if we didn't do these little strips, it wouldn't bother me. First year with the field in, it's like, you know, I just kind of look at it like it's a rough get it in there. Might not be perfect. The next year you can get it mulched and all that stuff, though we are going to have to pick up a mulcher on here. Don't have one. Well, let's go. Sweet. This should take care of that. No problem. If it'll load. Really slow. Just not gonna show it to us. Well, whatever. Getting it done. There, takes care of that. And then, yeah, there it finally went. Over here. Probably started spraying it the old time. We're probably a little late, actually. Let's go ahead and back this up. And we are going to have to do the hedgerow anyway, so might as well do it decent. This going to be far enough? Yeah. There we go. And then we'll just kind of ride that around. Get a good look at the fertilizer here, or the sprayer. So it is pretty much just a fertilizer for us at this point. Great little rig. Big rig, however you look at it. Do have to give credit where it's due. This thing's super efficient on working fields. You can definitely cover a lot of ground with this thing, which is really super nice if you like to use the liquid, which I tend to. I certainly know not everybody does. Alright, we'll take a look at that. Yeah, so we'll get this one sprayed up and then we'll go from there. There we are, folded up, concluding field number 1 today. We do have 2 more fields to go for, so I think we are going to head off in that direction. Though I think we will make a pit stop here first and put in, although I suppose that means we have to do some stopping. Never mind. You know what? That's not going to work for now. Let's just head this thing over to the field. We're going to have to actually buy some new equipment when it comes to our expansion. So maybe we'll just head this over to our next grass field. Would be easier if we keep it. The sprayer probably not, though. Let's drive around and go do stuff in vehicle other than spraying. So we'll probably keep it down to that. Alright, so I'll get this one headed off in this direction. As we do need to head that up here. It's field 85 we're headed up for. So we'll get this one up to that field. Spray there. Or at least park it up at the field, I suppose. And then we could probably try to head out and buy some new equipment and get our new little project off and running. Good news is we're not really hard harvesting anything this month, so not too worried about weather or anything like that. Month of June, mid-summer. Not a lot going on the farm currently, as everything is just growing our first year's crop. We do have the grass fields to keep up, but where we just cut those last month, we're just kind of coming in to fertilize all that and keep it in good order. Nice look at our cattle out there. I'm not sure. We could maybe put in some bigger trees. Those cattle look like they're out in some pretty barren ground, to be honest. Be nice to put some more grass or something in there. Not planted with the meadow grass. Get this unfolded here quick. As you can see, work that field down there. Whole field Although it didn't work the whole field, so it's pretty tough to say on the acreage there. This one's definitely not going to use up a lot. This field should not take very long, is not very big. Well, I guess it's all relative. I shouldn't say that. I mean, 12 acres, it's decent, but it's not, big. That's for sure. It's not even really like a medium field. It's a decent small field, though. 10 acres. Alright, let's not waste a ton. Not that with this thing that big a worry. Alright, so we'll get this one sprayed, and then we will be heading it back mainly to the main farm there. We have those final grass fields down there. And there we are, bringing it across the final sweep of our grass fields. And then those are all in. There we go. Oh, shut that down. Now that we bent the boom. No, we'll call that good. Again, we're producing plenty more grass than we need, so we really do not need to worry about every blade of grass coming off of that field currently. So we are definitely not gonna. So we'll get this back parked, and then we'll kind of head out on our new project. There we are with our new purchase, the Lizard TARDIS container trailer, liquids container trailer that is. So we are going to turn around and use that for water. We obviously just kind of grabbed the milk truck, slapped it on the back. We used the truck itself for milk, and then we're going to use the trailer for water. That way we can kind of leave it. We are going to go over. Currently, we don't have a use for it, but we're about to have a use for it, so that's where we are headed next. Though this thing holds a ton of water, as we did go with the Unreal max capacity on this thing. Just because hauling around water, at least to me, has never been super exciting. But we are going to bring that over here, and we'll get that started filling. There we go. Alright, so we're going to turn that off and let that fill, which should take quite a while. And while that's doing its thing, we are going to turn around and come over here and build some stuff. Is going to be the order of the day. Let's get this kind of where we want it. Good enough. What are we looking for? There we go. And we want greenhouses. Scroll down to the bottom there. We are going to put in some apples. Apple trees. Okay, so that's where the pallets are going to drop. That's where we're going to have to put in. So we'll do something like that. Should work out for us decently. Come in. And we'll make sure that we just don't have any crazy ridges, or at least hopefully don't have too much crazy ridges going on in there. So that will take care of that. Then this is also going to have, let me see if I can find it. There is a juice. Juice. Isn't it somewhere in here? Or is it? There it is. So this is going to turn around and make apple juice for us, which is going to be our main use for our apples. So we'll turn around and put that somewhere like here. And then what also comes in this, which we might as well just drop down now too while we're at it, is there is a sell point. There we go. This we're going to want to spin around because this is kind of going to be our seller's area over here. Ooh. Almost our little farmer's market, I guess. I don't know how far away I need to be. Looks like it all deals off of that side. Alright. And then we'll want to zoom out just a bit. Doesn't need to be perfect in here. These are farmers market stalls. So we don't need it to be perfect. We just want it to look somewhat decent. If we can pull that off. So I guess we'll do something like that. And then we'll go ahead and smooth out real quick everything that we have to smooth out there. This will at least let us start putting in some roads and stuff like that as well. And there we came out okay. Probably a little bit of smoothing out to do here just to make sure that we're good. Should be good. Alright, and then there is our truck. So we'll jump back out of here. Water fill stations on this map. Great. Oh, and it turned around and filled the truck. It didn't fill the trailer anyway. Is that accurate? Yeah, totally. It filled the truck, whatever. That's fine. It's a milk truck. It's cleaned out. We can put water in there. It's going into the apples anyway. We probably don't even need a ton. But if we turn around and get a bunch in the trailer, then we don't need to turn around and do much with it. Can I unhook it? I don't know if that'll keep filling if it's unhooked. I've never actually tried that. It will. Oh, alright, cool. So we'll just drop that and leave that there. Let that go ahead and fill up while we're doing this then. Give us a chance to get away from the frogs from driving us crazy. And then also it'll give us a chance to see what we're dealing with here road-wise. So if we have something coming in like this. This is our drop point for our water, which will be there. This will be our spawn point. It's like for our apples. And then when we come in here, we do have multiple different recipes, so you can get more production if you want to throw manure or fertilizer in here, or you do just have the water, which that's the one we're going to go for. A little slower probably, but we'll see it. Well, it isn't probably. It is slower, but we're just going to go with that. For now, that's the idea. How much water does this thing hold? Actually. Alright, 50,000 liters. So the 40 is definitely going to get us underway there. And then we can just bring our tanker over here. And we'll always have it in the vicinity. Alright, so something like that is what we're going to need to do. Like with a road too. Let's get in here. It's not the easiest to see, so let's go ahead and turn around and throw some. We'll just go gravel for now, I think. We don't know how permanent all of this is going to be. That's wide enough, yeah. But we could go just that wide. We don't even need to be super wide yet. Probably start the road. Alright. Is that a good enough start? It's about all it's gonna let us do. So, okay. That's fine. And then we'll go up. Just got it free. Swing by here. Almost should have just done this road in dirt. Do something like that. Not sure what's gonna go on there yet. This I think will run. That's fair. Give us to clean that in. We'll definitely have something coming across here. And then how it's gonna attach back down to there. Oop. Did not need to do that, but that actually is not horrible. And then if this, something like this, of course we'll be improving this along the way. Not exactly sure what we're gonna get here, so how we need to do that, I guess we'll just kind of let that sit for now. That's kind of a rough get around in here, a little bit better than what we had going on. Probably extend this out a little bit like this, not gonna hurt anything. Alright, and then almost might as well come in here and just get rid of. Whereas now we're spending money on landscaping, which is not really where we need to be, I guess, currently. Alright, but now that we've started this, that's the kicker. Once you start it, you end up going with it. At least it'll clean up our neighborhood a little bit, which quite frankly it needed, so that's fine. Alright. Let's get in there. We'll need some grass in here. Let's just keep it short. Something like this should give us at least a little bit of cleaned up decor. Probably plant a few more trees or something like that in there. I guess we could have done more along out there, but at least that gives us a little going on. Probably, like I said, once you start, right, you just kind of keep. We got to be careful though, as far as how much money we really want to spend on, just making things look good, or trying to pretty them up. Not even saying that they're gonna look good, but trying to pretty things up a little bit. You certainly can spend a lot of money landscaping. Yeah. Got rid of a bush there. Not that I really necessarily meant to do that. Alright, there we go. We are pretty good there, I think. Something like that. Well, I guess we might as well now do something along here too, right? Alright, and if we really need the road wider, we can always go back in and put that. This is our main road. We almost should have paved this one, but we can always do that later. We don't need to mess with that. That's getting too crazy. We'll just plant a little bit more grass here quick. We'll be able to come in here and actually mow this. No, just totally kidding. We almost could have done a field of grass though and put this in grass and then actually done that and been able to turn around and mow right around all of this and make some money off it. But this is more going to be like our industrial kind of park area, so not really looking to do that. And then this, now I don't like, actually over here we wouldn't want to go, we wouldn't want too much. Let's get inside the box there. Just so that our pallets are gonna drop someplace decent. Alright, think we will call that cool for there. Could always put like, let's not add any more decor in here until we actually see how things are going to be working, getting things in and out of here, so we won't worry about messing with too much more. Building a little bit of infrastructure as we go. There we go. Get that in there. We will run over here, grab the trailer quick. I would think that's about done. There we go, 200,000 liters in that, which I would assume is going to turn around and fill these trees or take care of these trees for a long time. Apple's going to be a new one, but I think interesting compared to the normal everyday greenhouse thing to do. Okay. Then just gonna honestly leave that right there. Wait. Yeah, we'll just leave it there. See if it pulls out of it. If it doesn't, we'll have to come over and empty that out every now and then, or empty it into there, but I'm sure it'll take a good long while. Or a hot minute to go through 50,000. We'll see how long, I guess, or what happens with that going forward. But that is going to be our new, I suppose, project complete, right? Actually, let's see. Can we visit? Yeah, cool. We can visit. So there we go. Apple trees and apple juice gonna be a thing for us. Obviously, we gotta get in the sorry, hitting the wrong button there. We have to get in some apples before we can turn around and turn this on. But this is gonna be our juice. I don't know, juice box is what I want to call it. This is gonna be the juice box. I wonder, can we rename this thing? Whatever, we might turn around and rename that juice box. And then we are running over here real quick. We'll take a look at the sell point now that it is down and on the map. So obviously we're gonna drop right out there, and it does do. You can sell the apples here. You can sell the apple juice here. Also, grapes and raisins, I think, can come out of there. Not that I've messed around with any of that stuff before, so we'll just kind of have to see how it all goes. Just kind of looked interesting. Is this open, closed? Nope. No window open, closed, with everything else going on here. So that's cool. And in our new apple trees, I don't know, do we have? Oh, we do have apples on the trees already. Check it out. Alright. Well, that's cool. So the apple trees are in. We'll just kind of keep an eye on that and see how that goes. Obviously, there was the single or the grouping to do. We did do the group before, but at any rate, that's going to take care of that. So we'll jump in, and then it comes down to other things. Oh, I suppose actually before we leave the neighborhood, we might as well go ahead and cash in on whatever we do have left. We still have a little bit of flour left. Alright, so we're not totally out. So we might as well run these over to the market there quick. This is just going to be the spot for all of these selling stalls, or if we have special sell places at any rate, are going to go along there, I think. Turn around and put a little more grass in this thing. Yeah, run that out to there. Start making this neighborhood, you know, decent. It's kind of fun. That's a lot of the fun I have in the game, honestly, is building up the area as it goes and just kind of seeing how it goes. So I like maps where, you know, you have that flexibility to do that a little more than necessarily having everything in there. Which this map so far has been great. It's got a ton of option in it. Alright, let's see. Can we just get these in one? If we go for it. Nice. Which is gonna just about take care of our money. We should have a little bit of wheat yet to go. Puts us at 397,000, which is not too bad. Currently, we don't really have a lot much else to sell. We do have, we'll just kind of take a look in here. Obviously, wheat is running through here. So we have, you know, a little less than 5,000 liters, but I don't think, we're not selling at any kind of good high mark in the sales cycle. So we're not going to turn around and waste that. We want to wring as much out of that as we can. No, we don't want to sell it. We just want to get in it. Thank you. Alright, so we'll jump this over, and I do think, at least at this rate, this is going to give us enough money to turn around and go ahead and flip a field. And where we don't really have anything else to do, it's still June, really early in the month, that we might as well go ahead and snatch up flipping a field, or I suppose we could just run forward a month, or next month. We don't have a heck of a lot to do at all, so maybe we formulate a plan here as I'm thinking. Okay, I had noticed on the map there's a sugar beet field that's actually decent down to flip that we aren't going to mind taking out. You know, if we have to take out some fences or any of that, it's not going to be a big deal. So I think we'll go take a look at that quick. But to go with that, let me see, where is it? Yeah, this one, right? Alright, so if we jump out here and we take a look around, decent sized field, it's sugar beets. There are fences out here, but again, this is going to be a middle property that at the end of the day, we probably we probably end up taking out all of these fences anyway. So not gonna hurt anything there. I'm not even worried about it actually. That's the right field, right? Yeah, it's gotta be the right field. These internal fences we're gonna take out sooner or later anyhow. I don't know if that one needs to go. We'll keep it for now. Okay, so we are going to turn around and buy this field up. Yeah, we got enough money. Cool, rock on. Going to do that. Leaves us not a lot of money to do a lot of anything, but we don't have a lot of anything, and wouldn't. So we will grab that up. I do think, I don't know if we harvest it now. We can harvest it right now or just run to the next month because we don't have a lot going on. I think we'll turn around and just fast forward. Yeah, okay. So having bought, we're going to turn around and buy this to flip next month. And then in order to see what our apples are doing, I think we're going to go ahead and jump to the next month. We'll turn around and take a peek at our cows here real quick just to make sure they are fed and doing well. Yes, so should not have a problem there. And we already know we didn't have any product. So there we go. We will sleep until 7 the next month. Alright, so now having woke up in July, we'll turn around and head on over quick to take a look at our apples. And then now we will have that other field to flip this month, and that's going to kind of be our business of the month of July, to be honest. Summer month again, so just growing. We'll try to get them both in here. So let's head on over to the apple orchard. Alright, here we are pulling in. So it'll give us a chance to go see if our apples did anything or how all that's gonna go. Well, we got something out there, so that's better than nothing. This is filling. Awesome. So leaving that thing there is going to turn around and make this go for forever. So we're going to have apples for eternity. Not really, but we're going to have a good long while with our apples. Alright, what do we got going on? Alright, so we have more apples in there as well. Let's take this over. Let's see where these... Alright, these are going to sell here. Or not sell, but get consumed there, which is going to let us actually turn on our juice. Activate. Bam. Get that going. One of these. Let's turn around and do this, because we need some, obviously, for in the facility, but we also want to find out, honestly, what these are going to be worth. So let's let one... Wait, how many are in here? We're gonna drop more? Let's see. So we got one. Okay. So one went in there. One's in the back of the truck. It's 2, 4, 7 pallets. Oh, 7 pallets in like a month. Alright, so let's sell for science. Let's sell 2 of them. And then we'll throw the rest in to get the industry going. Until we figure out how much is gonna... that's gonna work decent. Okay. About 5,000 in there. And it's now running on juice. Okay, cool. So that's a start. And then let's jump in the truck. Oop. Fired up. Not gonna worry about putting straps on here or anything. We're just gonna... oh, maybe I said that too soon. Let's strap the apples down before we make our own apple juice or apple sauce at any rate. And then we'll head over here. This is gonna work nice for selling them. 5 grand off of 2 pallets. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad for a little way to make some extra money on the side there for water going in. Alright, cool. I mean, early for right now. And I don't know, that's obviously not the juice or anything. We will slide these over. I think that's gonna be the bulk of our income now for July. Alright, cool. And then, well, at least from our own farm. And then we will turn around and have the, we'll have that field to flip because we are gonna turn around. We bought it last month. It's ready to harvest. Gonna turn around, go harvest that one, but not gonna turn around and keep the field is the goal there. We already got rid of the fence that's down here. Let's take a look at that again. 92% yield bonus actually on sugar beets, so that one should pay really pretty well. Let's just jump over to the farm there. We will save on the drive. Jump in our beet harvester that is really super dirty. Change up the head, and then we will head on out to that field. Alright, so here we are arriving at the field. Gonna get this opened up. Did turn around and do a fuel and filth stop, so did wash it and fill it up with the fuel, which we definitely needed to do. Alright, yeah, can't turn that on just yet. Get that bar up, bar on, and then we will pretty loud this one. Go, and then we will head down the field here. As you can see, this one is going to be a good sized field and a high yield. Would anticipate getting quite a bit off of this field. May turn around and actually like kicking around in my head to do something with the way that we're hauling here. Like, we may need a heavier hauling trailer. Otherwise, we're pulling 250. I got a feeling 250 liters is going to go awfully fast on a field like this with sugar beets, I guess, is the idea. But let's turn around and run down the hedgerows here and see what we get. Don't need to be pulling tons and tons of trailers full of everything out of here. And unfortunately we had just sold our tractor trailer, or our semi, that hauled, you know, that I think that thing had a 400,000 capacity on it, so it was capable of actually pulling potatoes and sugar beets conveniently. Otherwise these things haul, the yield on them is insane. Like, it's really high. It's not that it's insane, it's just realistic. A lot of weight. And a lot of volume in there. We will get this going on. Looks like just the hedgerow is going to be about 50% of the capacity, so it's definitely going to take some trips out of here. That's for sure. How big? Now I can't remember how big this field actually is. 22 acres and little edge. Yeah, so it's probably a good 20 acres of actual working field. So this is a decent mid-sized field here, at least. I like that. Should make it worth working. It doesn't really matter as long as we can get lined up good. So yeah, I'll run this down, get this filled up, and hopefully have really made a decision as to how to go about getting this stuff out of here. All right, so here is going to come offload number 1. It's just going to turn around, and we are going to use the wagon that we already have. Granted, it's going to fill it in one chunk, but where, you know, quite frankly, flipping field, it's about making money, not spending money. And so just going to go with that philosophy, use the gear that we have. Looks like we're probably going to pull 3, maybe 4 trailers full of this as we go. So, you know, going to take a little bit of time. The nice thing is we have, you know, not much really to do on the agenda this month, and we have the modded harvester here that just makes it way easier, honestly, to do sugar beets, especially in like a solo form. Otherwise, you're just running around so much. This setup actually makes it, you know, really convenient and pretty hassle-free. So turn around and get this one filled up, and then I guess we will run off that trailer and go find out how much money we're gonna make out of this when we sell, you know, a full load there. Here we are. We do turn around and have the harvester full and the trailer full, so we will be heading off to actually go cash this in now and see where we're going to get out of it. Sugar beets are selling at about half of, you know, what would be their peak value, but where we are just flipping the field, it is what it is. Just kind of how the finances work out. You know, we're flipping it like we were doing a job and getting paid for it instead of doing a contract, so we will just sell this off at what it is at whatever time we do when we flip the field, and then we'll sell it back. But let's turn around, we'll get this over and start dumping it, pulling in for the sale here. So getting that going. We are 104,000 on the money. My guess is this is going to more than double our money, probably right off of the bat. Yeah, there we go. Coming in pretty good. 125,000 for the single trailer there. Obviously, we have at least one more trailer in the bank already because it's in the harvester. I think there's probably 1 or 2 more on there. We'll just have to keep up with that as we go along, but I'm going to go grab that and keep going. There we are, sliding in for bucket number 2. That is going to take care of everything we have harvested currently. Obviously, we expect this one to be around 125,000 as well. If we get some major price drop or something in there, then we would have to deal with that. Taking up quite a bit of money. Sugar beets, great way to make, you know, cash for selling the crop. The yield is just huge on them. So even while you do not get paid a ton, or at least what seems like it'd be a lot for them, you end up selling a lot of them. So turn around, gonna jump back into the field there, and yeah, I think we're gonna have at least a few more to unload. There we we are having finished the field. We got that done. Actually, we might as well jump in here. 355,000 so far, so we're up $250,000, and we will turn around and sell that. So obviously, from 100,000 left of owning the field to now 312,000. Yeah, we're up a good $250,000 off of the first two loads. We have this load yet to bring in, and then we do have some more in the harvester, which we have parked over by where we're going to offload to make things a little bit easier, just to get it all finished up. Flipping that field, definitely profitable, hugely profitable when it's sugar beets. It would have paid for the field. We could have kept the field, replanted the field with something else, to be honest, because it already paid for itself just having it right there. But we're just looking for the income, and that is, as we started, from the start, we decided we weren't really going to do contracts, more so as try to flip fields when possible, just much more profit in it for the amount of work. So we'll sneak this one in here again. This is the third offload from that field. It's going to be 375,000 at this point. That field, having had a super decent yield bonus on it at 92%, is certainly paying off now. And we'll grab this for the last bit of our load. The last of our sugar beets there. Close that up. We don't have any use for sugar beets currently, so not going to keep any of them, just turning it all for profit. And obviously we could go out and pull a ton of fields at this point, but that's not been our goal. So we're just going to kind of call that our contract money for the summer. We'll let that go ahead and dump, just so we can see where we come to with all of the money in the process there. Another 56,000. So yeah, I mean $450,000 of profit or something off of that one field. Then we'll turn around, come in, take a look at the map real quick. And it kind of shows that these are in their first month of harvest state, so we're going to let those actually finish out growing. And then looking at the rest of our fields, we don't have anything else going on this month, though these look like they are going to be ready next month. So good thing is that's probably all we had to do for this, sneaking in, trying to get any other jobs, as we'll have our own fields going on next month, and then we'll have grass after that and corn to finish out our harvest year. So that's going to keep us busy for that. But I think with all of that put in, we definitely made some money. It's going to open up some options of things for us to do. We could turn around and start looking at expanding the farm again, probably pretty soon, something like that. So that's going to be on the horizon. But I think for the month of June, or months, excuse me, of June and July, we're going to call it a win. Say thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have a great day.